Yeah. So today we are going to start the scripting part, right? So the developing part,
Yes.
which we are going to start. So we are done with the admin concepts. So Q&A also done yesterday, right? So now we are going to start developing part, which is like which includes scripting. So first, glide forms and methods, which I'm going to give the introduction actually, and later about the background scripts. Okay, so if I want to use this one, okay, if I want to explain this one, I need to show you in the background scripts as well. Okay, so that's the reason these two concepts we are going to cover today. Okay, before that, I just want to tell you about one thing actually. So this I have covered in even a demo session as well, but let me cover one more time. So the basic service now instance, so which we are using all the out of the box features, whatever it might be. Okay, that is like an based on a Java programming language. Okay, but it's like in the enhancements, the customizations, configurations, whatever we are doing. Okay, the customizations in our service now. So that is in a JavaScript. Got it right? So the instance, all the things, so which is available here actually, the backend database and all everything. So the out of the box feature of the Java was built by using like in Java programming language. Okay, the customizations and all these things was we are going to use like in JavaScript. Got it right? So now I just want to recall your JavaScript things and all. Only I'll give very brief intro. It's like in 5 to 10 minutes about JavaScript, and then I'll jump into the scripting part of a service now. Okay, okay, just write it down. What is JavaScript actually? So it's like an brush up kind of thing. JavaScript is a scripting or programming language. JavaScript is a scripting or programming language that allows you to that allows you to implement complex features, implement complex features on web pages, implement complex features on web pages. JavaScript is object oriented programming. JavaScript is object oriented programming, which means which means that you can build smaller objects, that you can build smaller objects. Right. So let me repeat again. JavaScript is a scripting or programming language that allows you to implement complex features or web pages on web pages. JavaScript is like an OOP, object-oriented programming, which means that you can build smaller objects. Okay, so now it's like in whatever you're doing in a scripting or something. Okay, there will be like in two. It's like in three types actually. So one thing is like in client side script. Okay, so server side script, and thing is like in core. So in core is nothing but in combination of client and server, client side and server side. So types is nothing but client side is nothing but here we are going to enable the enhancements and manipulations or any custom changes, these kind of things you're going to do. Okay, so we are aware of like in what is client side is nothing but it's like an UI, or we can call it as a web page, web browser as well. Right, so we know about this one, right? So this is what about the client side. So client side is nothing but enables enhancements or manipulations, etc. You can write it down as well if you need. Okay, then what about server side? So server side is nothing but getting from the data from the databases. Okay, it might be getting the data from the database or else servers. Okay, so this kind of stuff and all will comes under server side. And what is core is nothing but the combination of client side and server side both. So if you wanna program something, or else if you wanna do something, any functionality or something based on both, it's like in client and server, you'll go for core actually. Okay, now so I just need to tell you about a normal it's like a basic syntaxes while programming or else while scripting the based on the requirement you're going to write a scripting, right? So there you're going to uh, keep few points in your mind while writing the code. Okay, the first thing is like javascript is like case sensitive, so here capital A and small a is different. Okay, so the second thing is like we should not use extra spaces while writing the scripting and all. So extra spaces are not allowed. So it's like sometimes you might not get the exceptions errors or something, but the outer look or something, it will be like not good, right? So let's say example, I thought I have written one of any of the method or something else. Okay, in print statement I'm writing something. Okay, let me write something. Okay, js dot log off. Hi, I'm giving extra spaces here and volt. Hi, hi, yeah. Okay, so what I'm doing, so I'm giving like this in my script. So is this look like perfect manner also? Is this the correct way to giving the extra spaces by one between any of the two words or somewhere? No, right? So we should not use the extra spaces in between any of the thing. So while writing, no need to give the extra spaces. Okay. The next thing is like we should follow the semicolon at end of the statements. Let's say example before this is what, see I have mentioned here like in semicolon, right? So end of the statement you just need to mention a semicolon, it's like an end of the statement. Okay, semicolon is nothing but you are ending the statement. But where you should not give this kind of a semicolons is nothing but if you are going for the loops concepts, it might be for loop, if loop, while loop. Okay, then you should not use this semicolon, you need to avoid this semicolon, right? Next one, so for conditions, functions and all, you just need to mention, it's like an use a parenthesis. Okay, let's say example, if condition I'm using, okay, if x is equal to a. Okay, so this is one condition. So for this, we are going to use a parenthesis. You guys all know about this one. Just I'm brushing up because we are going to write the scripting and all, right? So I'm just recalling all these things. That's it. Okay. Next, what we are going to do is like for strings, we are going to to mention that in a single or double quote. See here, this is like in strings, right? String is nothing but a collection of characters, right? So here this is one string, this is one string, whatever it might be. So let's say, let me take again hello is one of string. So string should be enclosed with the quotes. It might be single or it might be double quote. Okay, you guys know about the double quotes, right? This is what double quotes and this is like a single quote. Okay, next thing, uh whenever you're writing any script or something, okay, so let's say example I'm writing like 1,000 lines of script in my um, somewhere. Okay, in 1,000 lines of script I'm writing. Okay, so there I'm going to use like multiple blocks of code, multiple functions, methods, classes, okay, objects and all I'm going to create, and I just need to execute all those things. Okay, while writing it's like an while programming something, okay, while writing the scripting somewhere, okay, you if you maintain the comments, let's say example in 1,000 lines, there I have like in 10 blocks. So for one block is for one purpose and the next block is like one purpose. So for each block if I mention like in comments by giving the forward slashes of 2, okay, so I can mention like this block of code is to get the incident records. Okay, so if I mention like this, okay, what will happen whenever after it's like maybe 10 days or 20 days, or it might be maybe after 1 year also, if I come back and if I cross check this 1,000 lines of code. Okay, no need to go to get the functionality of the requirement by one by line, one by line and all. If I go for the each block of a, it's like a comment, so I'll get it. Okay, this is the purpose of the scripting, why they have mentioned this block of code. Okay, so we can easily retrieve, or else we can easily understand for what the purpose of a scripting actually, why they have implemented these lines of code. So for each block you can identify easily. Okay, for that we just need to mention a comment for each block. It is like an, it is not about the execution point of view, it is not about the result thing which you are getting to the programming, but this is to identify to you and easy understandable whenever you look into the your scripting point. Okay, so this is one more point which we just need to remember while scripting. And so we have like an escape characters as well. Let's say example, escape characters is nothing but here let me declare something. So I'm declaring like var a is equal to, this is ABC. Okay, I just need to mention this one in a quotes. Again, so this should be, it's like a string, right? So even the string, I just need to mention the quotes. Okay, so if I mention like this, what will happen? The compiler cannot identify whether this is the one of the string. Okay, or it might confuse like seeing ABC. I mean, it cannot identify that what it should take like a string actually. Okay, so for this to eliminate this one, what we have is like is nothing but we have like an escape characters. So special characters, to enable these special characters we just need to use like an for backward slash. If you mention like this, okay, then what will happen, it will take like an, it will escape these things. So the output will be like for you, this is ABC. So if you want this kind of output, okay, you just need to mention backward slash. This is nothing but an escape characters. Okay, now, so these are the few things which you just need to remember while programming. Okay, now there we have like an reserve words. Okay, so reserve words is nothing but, so while declaring something, see here I declared the a variable, right? So we know about the variable now. So I'm going to discuss about the variable as well. Okay, later. So if I declare a, okay, this is not a reserve word. Something like we have like an reserve words like an, we know, right? So break statement, case, catch, continue, default, delete, do, else, if statements, and what not, finally, function, try, catch. Okay, these words and all comes under reserve words. Okay, so you should not use these reserve words like in a variables, because these are like in reserve words and already for each functionality. So each word, okay, let me take as a break. Okay, if we take break for this, okay, then break, we have like in one functionality. So break is nothing but we just need to terminate or else coming out of a specific loop. If the condition is not going to satisfy, or if it is like satisfying, what will happen, break statement, break word is nothing but it will terminate from the loop actually. Okay, so if you mention this break in variable like a declaring var break is equal to something. Okay, so compiler or else internally while executing, the system will confuse that whether it should take like a normal reserve word or else it's like a variable. So what we prefer is like we should not declare the variables with the reserve words. Okay, if you want the list of the reserve words, just simply Google it. Okay, so reserve words in JavaScript, you'll get a lot of reserve words in list of the things you'll get it. Okay, so for time being, I can just give like an break statement, case, catch, continue, default, delete, do, else, and then finally a lot more function, and new, null, switch statement, while. Okay, so try, catch, many are there. Throw, this statement, so many are there actually. These are like in reserve words. We should not use in a variable while declaring something. Okay, while creating an object. So got it right now. So now let us discuss about a variable. So variable is nothing but something you are going to store the value of a string. Not only string actually, something which I'm going to, let's say example, if I give here 10. Okay, now this 10 value will store in variable a. Right. So not only the numeric value, it might be like in hello. Okay, if I'm declaring this one where a is equal to hello, then what will happen? This hello will store in a variable of a actually. So variable is nothing but it's like a containers for storing data values actually. So in JavaScript variables, we can contain like any type of the data. It might be like in string value, it might be integers, it might be objects, it might be arrays. Okay, it might be functions as well. So these kind of things will comes under variables actually. Now, so the thing is like the next thing which I'm going to tell you is like data types. So data types is nothing but here we have like in string. String is one kind of data type. So string is nothing but an collection of characters, right? So it's like an A is one character, B is one character, C is one character. If you combine all these things, this is like an one string actually. And we have like an integer. This is one data type actually. This is like a numeric values you're going to give it here. And then boolean. So here you're going to give like an true or false. Right. And what else we have like an objects, arrays. So array is nothing but a multiple, it's like a set of values you are going to store in a array. It's like in holding different values inside. So arrays we are going to declare like this actually. A comma, B comma, C and so on. Okay, you can declare like this. And then object is nothing but so it's like in same like in array actually, but here we are just holding the structure data with name properties as well. Okay, let me declare something like an let me create one object here. So here it's like a name. So name is like I can give like a string value of like an ABC comma roll number, which I can mention like in fields as well. So it's like an any of the 1 2 3. Okay, so these kind of values which I'm going to give in a object. So this is what the about the data types actually, and let me discuss about functions as well. So here functions will play a prominent role while we are scripting or while we are working in a scripting actually. So function is nothing but if you want to note it, just note it actually. So functions is nothing but function is a block of code designed to perform a particular task actually. So it's like an in specific block of code which you're going to write it down. So just declare the function and under the function it's like an below the function in a it's like a block of code. So that block of code will execute whenever we are going to call the function again. Okay, this block of code you can call maybe in the it's like a whole programming thing and all. It's like a whole scripting. So whenever you are going to call this function, the function block of code will execute in a another thing as well wherever you are calling the function. Okay, just remember one more thing. It's like an reusable code. It's like a clean code for uh, we can say like an leasability, or else you can say like an we can define in the kind of it's like a block of code which is designed to perform a specific task that without calling the function you cannot use the function actually. And one more thing is like which you can use it again and again. It's like a reusability functionality which is available in a function actually. Then how to declare a function is nothing but just function. It's a keyword which we just need to use. And function name. Okay, function name whatever it might be, it's like in hello or something. Okay, so function name with the parenthesis. And later in the block of code it's like in flower braces, here we are going to write the block of code. So here in this block of code it might be like in code will be so this script will be executed whenever you call hello function here. Okay, so you just need to return the hello function. Then what will happen, this will get executed. Okay, so this is the structure of a function actually. So we have like an these kind of things we can what can we say create, it's like an create a function. So internally you can go for the parameters as well. So here you can declare the parameters as well if you need. So we call it as an arguments as well. So remember that whenever you're going to create the function, calling is mandatory. So you just need to call the function, right? And then the next thing is like which I'm going to show you. Discuss is nothing but condition. So this is like a very easy. Everyone knows about it. So condition is like an if else switch. Okay, so these and all. So if statement is nothing but here we are going to perform different actions based on different conditions here. So if it is like an if a is equal to 10, okay, then the below block should get executed. If not, we should go to the else statement. Or else if you go for the switch, switch is nothing but, and here we are going to use a multiple conditions in a multiple cases. So what you're going to write, declare the switch, and inside to that you are going to create one case one. So if it's like a case one condition is going to satisfy, then that block of code will get executed. If not, we are going to mention the break statement over there. It's break keyword, and then if it is like an we are going to terminate the thing which is not satisfying, condition is not meeting the criteria, then we are going to terminate from the loop actually. So this is what the iterative thing will work in a switch condition. Okay, so this is the brush up which about the JavaScript actually. Now we'll start the scripting in service now. The main part. Okay, write it down. Scripting in service now. So this is like an everyone know. It's like an as a graduate, so we know all these things actually. It's just like a brush up. It might take some time also. It's like a maybe 4 years back, 3 years back, 2 years back. You have pursued all these things, right? So it's like an treat this as a brush up. That's it. Write it down. Scripting in service now. ServiceNow provides ServiceNow provides APIs, APIs, API, application programming interface, APIs, which includes which includes classes and methods, classes and methods that you can use in scripts, that you can use in scripts, that you can use in scripts to define functionalities, to define functionalities, to define functionalities. And one more thing, as I told you before, ServiceNow is like a low code platform. Here we are going to use like a less code. So we have almost out of the box features in the configurations and enhancements actually. So that is what we are going to do. But the requirement is not going to met. Okay. So then we are going for the scripting actually. I'm not, it's like an, I'm not giving the guarantee that you won't work in the scripting. Definitely you will work on the scripting, but the ratio will be like a bit less when compared to the configurations. Okay, right. I'll repeat again. ServiceNow provides APIs which includes classes and methods that you can use in scripts to define functionalities. Next line. These APIs are these APIs are same as these APIs are same as JavaScript classes. JavaScript classes. Okay, so it is in next line. Here, here, here in the sense in service now scripting. Okay, here we use both server side and client side. Server side and client side. Okay, now so keep the heading as types of glide APIs. We mentioned like an it is like an APIs, right, which provides the APIs. So that is what I'm going to tell you now. Types of glide APIs. Keep this one. Types of glide APIs. So if you want divide it into two parts, one is like an client and one is like in server. client server, divide it client side. So we have like in glide APIs, they might ask this in interview as well. So how many types of glide APIs are there in the client side and server side, they might ask. Okay, just note it down. Client side, first I'll tell you client side. Glide form, glide form, glide user, glide exec, next glide menu, next glide list, glide dialog window. Okay, these all comes under client side. Client side. Okay, write it down under server side. Glide record, glide system, glide date and time, glide date and time, glide aggregate, glide aggregate, glide date, glide date, and glide element. Glide element. So types of glide APIs are these things. So in client side we have like in glide form, glide user, glide exec, glide menu, glide list, glide dialog window, glide record. In server side they are like in glide record, glide system, glide date and time, glide aggregate, glide date, and glide element. Okay, so whenever you're going to write any scripting or something which you're going to work in like in programming, so these methods which you're going to use in your scripting. Okay, so I'm going to tell you it's like in one by one now. Okay, so before that write it down. Glide record API. Glide record API. Glide record is a class for database operations. Glide record is a class for database operations rather than rather than writing SQL queries. Rather than writing SQL queries. Glide record is a class, I'm repeating again. Glide record is a class for database operations rather than writing SQL queries. Next one, next line. Glide record is a special Java class. Glide record is a special Java class that can be used in JavaScript. Glide record is a special Java class that can be used in JavaScript exactly as a JavaScript class. Exactly as a JavaScript class. Next line. Glide record is an object. Glide record is an object that contains that contains records from a single table, records from a single table, records from a single table. Okay, so now let me explain about what is glide apis. Okay, so we have like in what we discussed about ServiceNow scripting. So ServiceNow scripting, which provides like in APIs, which includes classes and methods. Okay, so these are the things which we are going to use in a scripting in a ServiceNow. Okay, so if you are going to write from the server side, it's like in client side. Okay, client side scripting. So in client side scripting, which you are going to use these methods. Okay, if you're going to write a scripting in like in server side, then you are going to use these methods. Okay, internally, we have like a lot of methods internally. It's like in glide record, we have a lot of things. Okay, so even for each and everything, we have like a lot of things are available. Okay, I'll tell you one by one actually now. So let me explain what is glide record now. So why I'm giving like an only for the glide record is nothing but, so this is the main functionality which you are going to use is multiple times, numerous times you are going to use glide record. So if you wanna get, it's like a gliding or is getting some record values or getting any of the database feature, it's like in values or is getting the records of any table, you are going to use like in glide record only. Okay, so this is what we are going to use like in 60 to 70% of your scripting. This is what glide record. If you know about the glide record, it's like an a bit, it's like an very easy to understand what's going internally, and it's like an easy to implement as well by your own. Okay, so now let us discuss it's like an what is glide record API. So I told you like glide record is a class for the database operations. So what is a database operations is nothing but it's like in CRUD operations. So something you are going to create any record in the database, or else something you are going to update something, or else something you are going to read something. It's like in getting the information from the database. Okay, something you are going to delete something. Okay, all these things under we are going to perform by using glide record. So basically what we do generally is like for deleting or else for updating, for querying something or else for creating something, what we do, we use like an SQL queries, right? So here in service now we are going to use the glide record instead of using SQL queries. So SQL queries is something, but if you want to create any table and then insert the records into the table, we go for the SQL queries, right? Insert, it's like an create table or else inserting something, updating something, and by giving the values over there, right? So we are not going to use the SQL queries, so instead of that here we are using like a glide record. Okay, so next one more thing is like glide record is a here it's like a special Java class. Okay, this is one of the class actually that we are going to use exactly like in JavaScript class. And the major thing which you just need to remember is nothing but the third point. Glide record is an object that contains records from a single table. Okay, so while working, we just need to remember this point. So glide record is nothing but a one of the object. So by this you are going to retrieve the records, or else if you're going to get the records, or else if you're going to update the records from any single table. It might be incident, it might be RATM, or it might be business rule table, it might be like an any table. Okay, from any of the table wherever you're maintaining the records, okay, from there you can glide the table and you can get the whatever the information you need. Let's say example, in incident table all the resolved or else all the open incidents I need. Okay, open incidents I need. Then what I'll do is like I'll write a it's like I'll glide the incident table and I'll get all the open incident records one by one. Okay, by using like an glide record method over here. Okay, we need to create one object by using the glide record. I'll show you how to do that one as well. Okay, after that we are going to glide the incident table and need to get all the condition, what is the condition over there, or is what is the based on the requirement we are going to write the next lines of script actually. Okay, so he up to here clear, right? Server side and client side. So I'm going to tell you how we are going to write the scripting and all, how we are going to glide the records and all. Okay, so after this, we are going for the concepts actually. It's like a client side, business role, scripting load, your policy, all these things. Okay, so as of now, for these things, it's clear, right? We have only 1 more minute left actually. Ah, auntie, 1 second.